Hello, today I'm going to show you how I make shaved Brussels sprouts cooked with pancetta and walnuts. This is a stir-fry recipe. First thing you do is get your Brussels sprouts and wash them. And then take the really rough stems off. You don't need to do much more than that to start. Just cut off the stems. And I'm going to cut through these and come back and show you how to put them through the Genius food processor. Now the Brussels sprouts have been just trimmed. The rough stems have been all cut off. And I'm going to show you how to use this device called the Genius Mix Cutter. It's a mini food processor that doesn't require electric, just it's like a little mandolin. First of all, you can set this cutter to different levels of the blade height, and I'm going to use a level that cuts the Brussels sprout about in thirds. And you can put blades that come up to cut it crosswise too, but we're not going to use that today. This is a little holder to protect your fingers from touching the blade, and I'm just going to place like 2 or 3 Brussels sprouts on at a time. And these go right on the pins. And then just put them across the blade. And then you can just keep adding some. Poke the nails through and go across the blade. Now let me just take a minute here to show you what's happening. The Brussels sprouts are being cut nicely, all the same thickness, and this container collects all the shaved Brussels sprouts. I'm going to finish doing this and then I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, that takes care of shredding them up. This was about a 2-pound bag of Brussels sprouts and made a nice big dish. Of course it made a mess too, but Brussels sprouts do that no matter how you cut them up. This was a lot quicker way. Now I'm gonna take some basting oil and heat it up in the frying pan. Add the Brussels sprouts, some pancetta, and get that cooking. This is basting oil. I get this at Wegmans. It's an organic sunflower oil, and it's loaded with parsley, thyme, and garlic. What I love about this is it's a nice oil to cook with because of the temperature rating, and also you don't have to add parsley, thyme, and garlic. So turn up your frying pan to a high setting, shake up your basting oil. Look at all those nice flavors already in there. We're going to put a healthy amount in here because we have 2 pounds of shredded Brussels sprouts. While this is warming up, I'm going to tell you about what we're going to add here. It's diced pancetta. It's for people who love bacon and that kind of meat. This is commonly used in Italian foods, but what it actually is pork bellies. It's kind of like bacon, tastes delicious, and it's a good complement with Brussels sprouts. As you look at your basting oil, you know it's ready when it gets a little wavy. You can see the spices moving around, the herbs moving around a little bit on their own as the oil heats up. And we're going to test it in a minute here to make sure it's hot enough. If you put a tiny piece of something into your oil and it starts to sizzle, then you'll know it's ready. Now that is not ready, so we're going to wait another minute. Okay, now you can see the sizzling going on around the Brussels sprouts. You can hear them. We're going to add the pancetta into the oil first. I'm not going to use all of this. It's very high in fat, so you don't want to make this a regular part of your diet. Once you get that going, then let's add the Brussels sprouts. And I call this a stir fry because I'm going to keep it moving. I want all the Brussels sprouts to get coated with basting oil, and I want all the meat to get nicely browned. When we get to the last step, we're going to add some walnuts for some extra crunch. delicious side dish. Okay, now this nice color of green is how I like to eat my Brussels sprouts. A little bit on the crunchy side, not overdone. The pancetta is nice and browned here. I'm going to take a couple handfuls of walnuts and add these in for crunch. Stir them around just enough to make them warm. I like a little more walnuts, I think. There we go. And I'm going to turn off the heat and put it on a serving tray. Serve this as a side dish. With most meals that you would make, this would make a great side dish.